What is a movie ending that makes you cry? No matter how many times you've watched it before? Sixth Sense. Grandma says you asked her a question when she died. She says the answer is every day. What did you ask her, Mama? I asked. Did I make you proud? Homeward Bound. It was too far. He was just too old. All dogs go to heaven. I think I might even cry more the older I get. What dreams may come. Akira. WDMC is a film about a man, Robin Williams, who dies and goes to heaven. His wife dies sometime later and is sent to hell. He decides to find her. Akira is about a civil servant Takashi Shimura coming to terms with his own impending death. Then accounts of his life at the funeral. He can't see without his glasses. And I sob. ETA. The name of the movie is My Girl 1991. I was 9 to 10 when this movie came out. The trailers made it look like a fun family movie. Then the kid dies and that funeral scene. God damn, that was rough. Edward Scissorhands. I'm a 57-year-old man. Coco. My grandfather had dementia and couldn't remember me the last time he saw me, but showed me the house of my grandparents where I basically grew up in, like I was a visitor. I miss him so much. My oh papa. WALL-E. The way it zooms out with the whole life long. Every damn time. Don't understand how the love story in WALL-E gets to me more than any other movie. When Eve thinks WALL-E explodes. WALL-E getting crushed and Eve screaming. And of course when he loses his memory. Damn, two robots love story gets to me. Meet the Robinsons. That end song Little Wonders brings me to tears. Fox and the Hound. Copper. You're my very best friend. And you're mine too. Todd. And we'll always be friends forever. Won't we? Yeah. Forever. Haki. A Dog's Tale. I bawl from about halfway until the end. I teared up a bit watching that Futurama episode that parodies it. This is weird one because it isn't a sad movie, but for me it's Mulan. After she presents her father with the sword of Shan Yu and the crest of the emperor. Her dad ignores them and says the greatest gift of all is having you for a daughter. Don't know how many hours in my life I have spent wishing to hear that my dad is proud of me. So to see a dad say something like that to his daughter is just... ow, the feels. The last few pages are for you, Sam. I will not say do not weep. For not all tears are an evil. It is time. Frodo. Every time. Everyone sounds like they have been emotionally abused by Pixar. I'm 36 years old and Pixar still beeps me up every time. I remember that light-hearted movie about toys with the incredible computer graphics. Those were the good old days. When I was young and innocent. I used to think the beginning of Up was overhyped in terms of sad factor, but ever since I've actually properly fallen in love with someone, oh man, that beep hits different and entirely too hard. The very end of Philadelphia. With the home movies. Gets me every time. Don't know why, but every time I watch the ending to Forrest Gump I burst into tears. For me it's when he finds out about his son and says, is he smart? Or is he? I cry every single time. He was so self-aware. Oh my god. That film. Saving Private Ryan. Every time I see this movie I cry. Oh yeah. This. Tell me I'm a good man. That scene gets me. I'm usually on the verge of tears. And then when he turns and asks his wife that question, I lose it. The musician scenes from Titanic. Went to check the melody they played when the ship was sinking. I thought, this is ridiculous, why movies have to be so dramatic? Then the scene continued and there I was, crying as if I'd never before watched that movie. Gentlemen, it has been a privilege playing with you tonight. I can't even type it out without tearing up a bit. Steel Magnolias. When they are all in the cemetery and Sally Field totally breaks down. She says something like, I'm so mad I want to hit something, and they say hit Weezer, and it's this moment where you laugh but tears are streaming down your face. Big Fish. Don't want to spoil it too much, but when everyone from the Dad's Tales show up at the end gets me every time. Toy Story 3. Maybe not the ending but just the movie in general makes me cry. Oh. Course. Old Yeller. Life is Beautiful. The horror and brutality through the whole movie leaves me feeling cold, numb, and depressed. Then the boy cries out "Mama" at the very end. And the joy that mother must feel to find her child after all that brings all the buried emotions back up, and out comes a fountain of tears. Schindler's List. When Oscar laments about not being able to save one more person. I always cry at that part, and then later with the actual survivors mourning at his grave. And Liam Neeson placing the rose over his grave. Second-Hand Lions. Every time it gets me. About Time. This movie makes me weep every time. Without fail. I wish everyone had a father like Bill Nighy's character in this film. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind every single time. Meet Me in Montauk, Peeping cried. Return of the King. My friends. You bow to no one. Watership Down. That final shot of Monsters Inc. will always make me tear up. When Sully pokes his head in and we hear Boo say kitty. That's just such a great ending. Logan. When she turns that cross over to make an X. My heart breaks. Every time. When she calls him Dad. That got me. Again, not the end of a movie. But Brooks Was Here from The Shawshank Redemption springs to mind as a recent watch. I was watching with my partner and she started bawling. I had to laugh to cover my own tears at how sad it is. Ending of The Green Mile is pretty upsetting when John Coffey dies. I'm tired. Boss. Tired of being on the road. Lonely as sparrow in the rain. I'm tired of never having a buddy to be with. To tell me where we's going to. Coming from or why. Mostly. I'm tired of people being ugly to each other. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Dead Poets Society. Oh Captain, my Captain sobs. The Land Before Time. When I first saw it as a kid, it was the first time that I realized that my parents could die. That thought had never even really occurred to me at that point. Even now as an adult, they scene where he thinks he sees her but it's just his shadow and the narrator says. Then Littlefoot knew for certain he was alone. Still gets to me every single time. I'm sure that movie will make me cry even more after my mom passes, because one of her nicknames for me is Littlefoot. Grave of the Fireflies. This movie starts with one of the main characters dying, and just goes downhill from there. 10/10 would never watch again. The Pursuit of Happiness. As a single dad since 18 with custody of my son, life never appeared to be so real on screen till I saw that movie. Especially the scene at the motel. Beep, or the cops taking him a day before eviction. Story of my life. Gonna cry it out TTYL. LOL. Not exactly the end but fried green tomatoes when Ruth dies. Interstellar. When Murph answers. Because my dad promised me. The Iron Giant. You stay. I go. No following. God damn. Superman. Gladiator. The Grand Budapest Hotel. The revelation that their shared happiness was short-lived. The reminder that happy endings don't always last. And that the old world the hotel represented had already long vanished in the darkness of war. The way the plot's nesting doll framing device pulls back out to the present. A young woman reading about it in a snowy graveyard. Just guts me every time. Coco. Every single time. Everybody gangsta until Miguel starts singing Remember Me to Mama Coco. Inside Out. The scene when Riley comes home at the end always gets me. Peeping Bridge to Terabithia. My mother told me it was a Narnia ripoff. It's not. She fell asleep and my brothers left. I was alone watching Narnia ripoff. And straight out of Peeping Nowhere I get hit with the fact that it's actually a movie about two children's descent into psychosis and denial of their real problems. Then the girl dies. The kid blames himself. And asks his father if she's going to burn in hell. City of Angels with Meg Ryan and Nicolas Cage. It isn't the greatest movie but it still makes me cry. Kubo and the Two Strings. The whole climax of that movie is emotionally devastating but the final scene with the villagers and then the lanterns on the water transitioning into the Regina Spektor version of While My Guitar Gently movie is so God damn good. Marley and Me. That dog makes me cry every time. Bicentennial Man. Big Fish. Big Hero 6 strangely enough, the only movie that's ever made me cry. Mr. Holland's Opus. The way his former students all come back to pay tribute to him and perform the song he'd spent his entire career composing. It always hits me in the feels. Not a movie but David Tennant's death scene as the Doctor. Train to Busan. Up. This is an oldie. Flowers for Algernon.